What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Colin here with your weekly gaming news updates. And, as always, for the people that watch this on the regular, I'm going to go through my gaming updates, what games that I have been doing last week, and what will continue on throughout this week. Now, last week was Fallout 4 for Harbor, and it was Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Now, I beat Fallout 4 Far Harbor 3 days ago. So that's done, gone, finito. I am still uploading videos for it. I think I might have either like 4 or 5 videos left to upload, and then the series is wrapped up. And then for Deus Ex, I'm still playing that. I'm thinking I should have it beat sometime this week. Yesterday I put in like another 4 or 5 hours into it. So there's going to be all that video footage that I'm going to be uploading throughout the week. Now, so yeah, for the remainder of this week then, it will be, wrapping up Deus Ex. And then, let's see, once I wrap up Deus Ex, then I plan on jumping into Fallout 4 Nuken World. And once I get rid of Deus Ex and once I beat it, next week on Tuesday is the release of the BioShock collection. Now, I'm going to be playing that 100%. There is no ifs or buts about it. I'm super pumped about it. Yes, I've played all 3 BioShocks that came out, but I played them many, many years ago. So when I found out that they were doing a remaster of them, I was all over it. I was like, hell yeah, I'm definitely getting it. And I want to put it on my channel because back when I first played, I didn't have gaming channel. Now that I do, I'm gonna put it up there for whatever fans want to watch it and whatever fans that I might get from it. Who knows? But it's definitely going on the channel. And then let's see. So just a refresher, real quick. This week, I'm finishing up Deus Ex, and I'm going to start Fallout 4 Nuken World. And then next week, I will be continuing Fallout 4 Nuken World and starting the BioShock collection. Now, also, guys, I need you to keep in mind that on September 20th, they're releasing a game. I think it's called Dear Esther or Dear Ether. That's being released. Now, it came out originally for PC, like, I guess a couple years ago or something. But they're releasing it for the PS4. I'm going to play that. So expect that. And then 2 days later, a game called Virginia is being released. And it kind of looks like Firewatch. For those of you that might have played Firewatch, it looks like that. It's a mystery thriller that is being based around a TV show, an old TV show called Twin Peaks, and obviously everyone knows the X-Files. It's being based off those TV shows. So I'm going to play that. Now, those 2 games are shorter ones. They're probably like 2 or maybe max 4-hour games. So those are going to be in September as well. And then obviously you guys know that once October hits, we're going to get very busy. And then also in November, there is another game now that has gotten is getting released in November. So just remember, guys, in November we have Dishonored 2, Watch Dogs 2, Killing Floor 2, and now The Walking Dead Season 3. But I don't remember what they're actually calling it. They're not actually calling it Season 3. They're calling it The Walking Dead something. And I forgot what the heck they're calling it. For some reason, they're straying away from the season part. I don't know why, but they are. Man, I can't remember what it is. But nonetheless, Walking Dead Season 3 is coming out in November as well. Oh, wait, guys, I'm sorry. I also forgot in September, there's actually 2 other things coming out in September. I just got the release date for Batman, Telltale series Batman. That is September 20th as well. So we'll be playing that. And then September 27th is the next Hitman episode. Actually, I'm going to be covering that in my news today, so just in case I do have the date wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's September 27th, but we'll go over that when I read it. Yeah, okay. And okay, that's all. And also remember, guys, in October there will be another Telltale series Batman released and another Hitman released. So that's going to be thrown into October as well. That's why I said October is going to be very busy for Cowabunga Gaming. I mean, right now it's busy too. I'm just not as slammed. I could be, because I do have quite a few games on the side for filler content that I haven't even started yet. But we will get to them eventually, but it's just taking me a little bit of time. All right, sorry guys. First thing we're going over. You guys will get a kick out of this. Duke Nukem 3D, godfather of the first-person shooter, has been revamped and re-released nearly a dozen times over the past 20 years. It's appeared on devices ranging from the iPad to the ill-fated Sega Saturn, but according to Gearbox Software publishing producer Scott War, nothing beats the 1996 original. That's why his team, which includes several members of the original development team, has assembled Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary Edition World Tour, a definitive update that both preserves the original experience by implementing only a crucial handful of visual improvements and delivers 8 brand new levels that aim to recapture the series' early glory. We sat down with War during PAX West to discuss what's changed and what hasn't, from multiplayer to voiceovers to classic expansions that didn't make the cut. Now, this is someone, this is the interviewer talking to the guy, so just remember that. Let's start with 8 new levels. Are they all about equal in length to the original levels? And this is War. Yes, absolutely. That was what we got when working with original developers Richard Gray and Alan Blum 3 again. They went through the same type of things that they did in the original Duke Nukem 3D. As you play through, you should notice no difference. It feels just like a continuation of Duke 3D. You'll play the 5th episode and be like, when did this come out? It doesn't feel like it was just created in now. There are some definite things that you'll see with the lighting that we could not do back in '96 that we can do now. Other than that, you shouldn't feel anything jarring or different. Interview guy, why remain so committed to those retro stylings rather than update the experience with modern techniques? Duke Nukem 3D turns 20 this year. It was really important for us to keep Duke Nukem 3D in this retro feel and look. However, it's not an up-res. We didn't do the new true 3D render, as you can see when you look up. Those aren't stretched anymore. It actually stays and looks like buildings or whatever. The Skybox looks like a Skybox. We also relit the entire thing. You can flip between the new render and old render. It was very painful, especially from the tech end of it, but we did not want to touch the game because of the anniversary edition. It was discussed at some point. Like, what does the anniversary mean? It was definitely to just keep Duke as original as possible with a few tweaks. Okay, interviewer. So even the new levels don't have new mechanics of any kind. It's the same classic weapons, same jetpack, same steroids. I will say we did add some things that were kind of within code but never really hooked up. There was a flamethrower type weapon that was in actual code, but it was never in the game to actually use. We hooked it up, and it's called the Incinerator now. We also added one new enemy type, which is the Firefly. They look tiny, like they got shrunk, and then they'll expand into big monsters and shoot you with flames. That's intense. Okay, interviewer. Can you tell us more about what guys changed visually and how you went about building the new levels in the classic style? We kept it all using the original tools and original assets. Everything in this new level is actually from the original game. We just used it in different ways, shapes, and forms. With the technology where it's at today, we could do some new things, new tricks, and didn't have to stay with just within the confines of the old render. Did you update the audio at all? All of Duke's lines have been re-recorded by original voice actor John St. John, correct? Correct. The old files were pretty harsh, so just we called St. John. He was like, of course, he did all the lines over again and actually recorded some new lines just for the new episodes. You will hear new things from him. Then original composer Lee Jackson added new music and in this composer for the new levels. How difficult was it to convince all these original team members to get involved, who even made those phone calls? Gearbox Software studio head Randy Pitchford with the 20th anniversary was like, hey, we've got to do something. Called Blum and Gary, and then we're like, let's do this. It was great. I remember some of the earlier emails. They had already gone through and said, okay, we want to do this world tour thing. We want to go to different locations around the world. As far as jumping in and using all the tools, I remember some of the complaints of like, ah crap, now I remember this. Or, oh, I forgot the trick that I was supposed to do to make this work. That was awesome to watch because me being a fan, I was sitting there like, I can't believe this is happening. Some of it's captured in the developer community as well. You can hear some of what they were frustrated about, but it was pretty easy. Jackson was stoked to write new music for the 5th episode. Like I said, both Blum and Gary were on board. John St. John, he's always ready to do the Duke Nukem voice. You mentioned the world tour aspect of the new levels. The one new level we've seen so far is set in Amsterdam. Why did you pick Amsterdam of all places, and what can you tell us about the remaining levels? It was just one of the locations around the world that we wanted to visit or that had an alien problem. A lot of the original assets were just reused in different ways or a little twist on them. But it was mainly the old assets. Other than that, it's just around the world. There are 8 different locations in ranges from Amsterdam to Russia to San Francisco. There are cool locations all over the world, and you will recognize some of them. Can we expect any new boss characters? I will say that there is a boss at the end of the 8th episode that you will fight. What about multiplayer? How are you handling that? We rewrote multiplayer from the ground up. 8-player multi-level, 8-player co-op, and now we have only 1-player bot matches. It'll be 1 player and then 7 bots. That's never been done before, or hasn't been in Duke Nukem 3D. It was there, it just wasn't hooked up. So we hooked it up and made it available. Basic Duke match is back and you can play it over, even go through the 8 new missions that we added. What about some of the expansions that have come out over the years? I know a lot of fans were sort of clamoring for material like Duke It Out in DC and other classic add-on content that they were hoping might be included in this package as well. Correct, and it's not, we like the new maps that had come out over the years, but as of right now, there are no plans. Those were not included just because I think we wanted to keep it with Blum and Gary. It was to focus on the original 20th anniversary it was great to get the original game and then these new updates. Oh, not updates. Sorry, episodes. Okay, now that the 8 new levels in classic games are shipping next month, would you consider adding any of the older add-on content at some point in the future? It's not out of the question. While I'm at Gearbox Software and we have Duke Nukem on the plate, anything's possible. I love Duke Nukem. I've been a fan ever since the first game. It will always have a great place in my heart. I never want it to go away. Duke Nukem 3D has been re-released quite a few times over the years, most notably as the Megaton edition that was previously available on Good Old Games. A lot of people bought and played that game. To the fans who already own versions of Duke 3D, what would you say to convince them to buy Duke again? You know, some of the things that we noticed from Megaton and from the Xbox 360 version, we basically just combined them all and put in Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary Edition World Tour. I know on the Megaton version the rewind feature was not there. It is going to be on the PC version now. We wanted both versions to just be in one spot. We did a little bit more, but we definitely took the components of the 360 version and Megaton and put them into one spot. Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary Edition World Tour release date October 11th, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC at $20. So I figured you guys would definitely get a kick out of that. I haven't played a Duke Nukem game in shit. Long time. Long time. Matter of fact, I'm positive. The last Duke Nukem game that I played came out for the Xbox 360. But man, I don't remember the name of it. It was, man, that was so many years ago. Holy crap. But that's the last one I played. So, however long ago that was, I'm pretty sure it was in the 2000s it got released. I just don't remember what year in the 2000s it got released. But that was the last Duke Nukem game. I haven't played one ever since then. And I don't think I will not be able to add this game in right now. I got way too much going on with gaming right now, and I can't keep adding games in because then I'm not going to have enough time to get to everything. Trust me, I wish I had more available time, but I don't. With my work schedule, it makes it hard to game as much as I would like. Because trust me, if I could game more, I would. But I can't. Okay. Let's jump into the next thing here, guys. Gear of War 4 Director's Helpful Hints for Not Dying in Horde Mode 3.0. What started as a relatively simple stand your ground mode way back in the second Gears of War title was over the years morphed into an intense point defense mode complete with perchable fortifications and extensive team tactics. The last iteration, dubbed Horde Mode 3.0, despite appearing in the upcoming Gears of War 4, retains much of the straightforward but deeply engaging craziness of Gears 2, and to a slightly lesser extent 3, but adds many of its own twist. For example, players can now select clearly defined classes and equip passive buffs associated directly with those roles. There's also the Fabricator, a semi-mobile device that serves as a one-stop shop for weapons, turrets, ally revives, and more. Of course, our team knew very little about these changes going into our first hands-on session with Horde Mode 3.0, which is why Gears of War 4 director Rod Ferguson offered us some helpful advice that, incidentally, outlined much of what makes 3.0 a whole new ballgame. First thing is called Know Your Role, Play Your Role. Unlike previous takes on the mode, Horde 3.0 features 5 distinct classes: Soldier, Sniper, Scout, Heavy, and Engineer. Since teams support up to 5 players, it's smart to ensure every class is covered since each one serves a specific purpose on the battlefield. Scouts, for example, get double the amount of currency for every power icon they pick up. Engineers, on the other hand, receive a discount on every base fortification they purchase. Basically, sticking with your role is more efficient and more rewarding than simply running around shooting stuff. Okay, next one is opt for class-specific skills over general abilities. Players can use gear cards to create their own custom loadouts of passive buffs. Cards range from simple to epic, and while some can be applied to any class, the most powerful options are generally specific to a single character type. The catch? Though class-specific cards tend to be more powerful, they're also more demanding. Snipers, for example, can pick a card that allows them to execute exploding headshots. That's great if you're super confident in your accuracy, but less useful if you can't consistently headshot angry robots under pressure. Consider it a risk/reward proposition with potentially explosive results. Okay, next one is save your best weapons until you really need them. Horde 3.0 adds yet another new mechanic, gun lockers. Gun lockers. Gun lockers, which you can purchase from your fabricator, allow you to bank weapons. As long as there's some ammo left in it, the locker will both hold and gradually reload the weapon over time, allowing you to get more mileage out of those rare, powerful guns like rocket launchers. This becomes especially useful when you start getting airdrops. If you beat a bonus wave, you'll receive an airdrop, which could contain any number of rocket launchers or other special weapons. Grab them and store them until you hit a boss wave, and you'll always be prepared. Okay, place your fabricator strategically and move it if you have to. Unlike Gears 3, base defenses are not present. Instead, it's up to you to pick an area and gradually fortify it to your liking. When a match first starts, a fabricator appears in the middle of the map. You and your teammates can then drag it to any location you choose. No enemies spawn until you put it down, but as soon as you do, the clock starts. Then you start building, and shortly after that, the monsters start coming. You can move the fabricator in the middle of a match if your initial spot isn't working out. However, the clock won't stop when you pick it back up. So make sure you place it judicially the first time. Next one is remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. As with path games, you'll face 50 waves of increasingly tenacious enemies, and every 10th wave will be a boss wave. On normal difficulty, there are no bonuses for the enemies for the first 10 rounds. From 11 to 20, they receive double health. Then they get double damage, then they get double accuracy. And then from waves 40 to 50, enemies get 2.5 times health, accuracy, and damage at the same time. The only way to survive those final rounds, use fortifications and sentries to create what Ferguson describes as death hallways. Think of it this way. You're not just trying to survive the first 40 waves, you're trying to prepare for the final 10. Gears of War 4 releases on October 11th for Xbox One and PC. Oh wait, and if you buy digitally on Xbox One, you get a free digital copy on PC and vice versa. All right, you know, the Gears of War game is the one game that I still wish I had, or I would have went out and got an Xbox One. I absolutely loved the Gears of War games. Loved, loved, loved them. And, well, I will not be playing that. Not unless by some miracle I come into money and I can go out and get an Xbox One and the game. But the chances of that happening are, well, slim. Very, 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 very slim. I wish I could, guys. I really do. I loved Gears of War, but that's not happening. I don't have the extra money to go buy an Xbox One. So, but, you know, like I said, I do miss the Gears of War franchise. I really do. I had so much fun playing those. Okay, guys. Last thing we are going over. Okay, IO Interactive has announced the next chapter in its episodic Hitman series will launch on September 27th. So I was right. September 27th, and it takes place in Colorado. And it's titled Freedom Fighters. Episode 5 takes players with infiltrating a Colorado farm compound that serves as a training camp for a private militia. Players are presented with an intense infiltration mission to locate and take out 4 targets. And the 4 targets are Sean Rose, Maya Parvati, Ezra Berg, and Penelope Graves are 4 very different, very dangerous people, each with their own specialist skill set ranging from environmental terrorism to chemical interrogation. This will be the toughest assignment yet for Agent 47. Players must utilize all their skills they learned so far. Freedom Fighters is the penultimate episode in the first season of Hitman, and according to Haynes Seffer, IO Interactive studio head, it is one of the toughest episodes yet. Not only do you have 4 targets, but from the moment you set foot in Colorado, you're on enemy ground. Freedom Fighters is a key episode which will add serious momentum to the story and set up an intriguing season finale for players. For reference, this is twice the usual amount of targets, as previous episodes have had 2 people to take out. Episode 5 will have all new opportunities and disguises, as well as 70 different challenges unlocking brand new gear, weapons, and items. Hitman, the complete first season, will contain all the content released for this game so far, and that is launching on January 31st, 2017 for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Freedom Fighters and the final episode, which will take place in Japan, will also be included. Alright, guys. That's a wrap on the gaming news for this week. Yeah, there's a lot going on. With September, there's a lot going on in October. There's going to be a lot going on in November. Granted, as of right now, it's looking like October is going to be the busiest month so far. October, I have so many freaking games to play that there's definitely going to be no way I'm going to beat all of them in October. Not going to happen. I mean, come on. There's Mafia 3. That's going to be a long game. Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Titanfall 2. Battlefield 1. The Last Guardian. another Batman episode, episode 3, another Hitman episode, which will be the wrap up of the season, and I don't know if I'll be doing more BioShock in October because I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit it in. We'll see what happens. I'm making no promises on that whatsoever because, as of right now, I got a lot of games to play in October, and there's going to be no way I'm going to be able to beat all of them in October. I can't make the time to do all that. It's just not going to happen. But am I getting all the games in October for all that nonsense? Yes. But it's going to take a while to get through everything. And then we'll jump into November, which, as I said, was Dishonored 2, Watch Dogs 2, Killing Floor 2, and now the first episode of Season 3 of The Walking Dead will be in November as well. Okay, and that is all I can think of. As usual, guys, I hope you enjoyed the news today. Please do me a huge favor, smash that like button for me because it does a great deal of work for me. It helps me out a lot. I really appreciate it when you guys do. And obviously, if you guys really like what I got going on here, please subscribe to the channel. I always have content coming out. Every day I have something out for you guys. I usually try to put anywhere between 2 to 3 videos a day out on the channel. Most days I can only get 2, but other times I am able to get 3. So please, like I said, do me a favor. Smash that like button for me. Please subscribe. And remember, as always, guys, be safe. Game on. And remember, I am Colin, aka Mr. Kawa, and I always bring the gaming news to you once a week, and then the rest of the week, I'm always throwing up game videos for you guys. Alright, guys? Be safe. Take care. Deuces.